really good question. This is super valuable for everyone listening. So he's mentioning this guy, Alex HAMZA. He's the author of this purple book behind me, Alex HAMZA, and he's worth like over 100 million. And his advice is so good, and he talks about that if you're not successful, it's because you only lack three things: beliefs, traits, and skills. And for a lot of people, it's usually beliefs. Like if you have the traits and skills, for example, of hard work and focus, and you can sit down and be productive, for most people, it's actually the beliefs about money. So a fast belief I could tell you right now is, let's say someone who lives in India and the average salary there is like $300. And so when he sees my videos on how to make 10K a month, it doesn't even register in his brain that it's possible for him, because no one he's ever known before, no one he ever walks past the street makes 10K a month. Here in India, we don't make 10K a month. That's his belief. Then when I tell him, okay, are there any Indian millionaires? And he starts thinking about all the guys he sees on TVs, the TV shows, the Bollywood actors and all those people. He's like, yeah. So okay, well, there's people who make millions still in India, first of all. So if they can do it, and then there's probably a bunch of businessmen and there's probably people who own real estate there, like there's still a lot of millionaires. Just because the average is low, fair enough. But the thing is, like, the average person's fat. So does that mean that we should just think, yep, well, if the average person's fat, we should be fat? So that's just one example of the belief. You asked me of my history of like the success beliefs that I had. The first one was when I started to make money online in 2020. So I started the same business that a lot of guys here are doing, which was online coaching. And I remember I set up my prices for less than half of minimum wage. So £3.50 per hour. And I'd go on the call with these guys for about 2 hours. So I was making about $1, just over $1 an hour when I first started like YouTube. And this was because I had the false belief that if you charge a lower amount, it's better in some ways. And a lot of guys have this. A lot of guys sell like as low as possible price because you think that, oh, I'm just getting experience. Or, like, because then more people will buy it. They're the two most ones, right? And what people don't realize, what took me it took me a good few months to realize, is actually you get the worst clients. You actually get less clients, which is so interesting. When you charge less, you get less people buying. It's so fucking interesting. Like today, I just increased the price of Adonis Academy to $999 a month, to $1K a month. 3 people have bought it already. Every single time I've increased the price of Adonis Academy, it has not changed. Like this is a belief that all of us have right now. You would assume that if you had a higher price, that like it would drop how many people buy. Maybe a little bit. Honestly, maybe a little bit. About the same. Like sure, like the first day I released Adonis Academy for $99 a month, and 100 people bought it in one day. Sweet, right? So okay, 100 compared to like the 3 people that buy it per day right now, right? But this is on the start of the release and everything, but when you increase the price, it makes up for any small difference in the quantity of people who buy. And it also means that usually better people buy. And it also means that you have less people that you need to help, so you can give each person better help. And so I didn't know this at the time. I started online coaching, as a lot of guys here are actually getting into, or selling products online. And I priced it just affordable, let me get some experience, let me get some testimonials. That shit doesn't actually make that much of a difference. Honestly, it really doesn't. And so when I was like, it actually makes you kind of a worse coach or salesman, or makes you a worse product, because when you don't profit as much, you will not make it into a better product. This is like key belief number 1 then reversed, is that when I started charging more, I actually gave a better service, and the clients got better results. It wasn't like the opposite way around, where you start by charging less and and then you gain the experience or anything. You have to start by charging more. That's when it hits you of like, oh fuck, I've got to give this guy's crazy value that he's paid for. That's like the feeling you've got to have. Every day I'm waking up thinking, man, these guys have paid me quite a lot of money. I've got to make sure that I'm really helping them. If I had everyone to a low price, it's like I would have just been slacking right now. Do you know what I mean? I would have been like, I wouldn't have added all the extra stuff that I've added if I just kept everyone at the 99. And this would have been like another thing where I've released where it's just kind of like, it's kind of nice, I guess. Some people have made a nice review for it, sweet, but do you know what I mean? But now I think Adonis Academy is great because I've been pricing it just constantly higher. So there's a big belief is make sure that you price your things so expensive that it gives you this burning desire to make it worth it. Now, if you stop there with a shit productivity, shit laziness and stuff, then of course you'll be run out of business, people will be annoyed, they'll ask for refunds and everything. But then you should use that to actually over deliver on the value. So this was the first key lesson that I learned, and this took me from a few hundred a month to more like 1.5, 2K a month instantly, just from online coaching, and I only had 1,000 subscribers. The next big lesson is there anything you want to say about that first?